You know, I kind of feel like people have to move out of their home to later realize the home is the best.
Sure.
I'm Jen, and this is Prague, the heart of Europe, and my adopted home. Subscribe to get an American's take on this enchanting city and all things Czech. Welcome to the adventure. Hi, I'm Jen, and this is Dream Prague, and usually I give you an American's perspective on life in Prague and the Czech people, but I'm super happy to give you a Czech person's perspective on American culture and American people and my hometown of LA. I'm a little nervous. So you can welcome Michal Šopor. Šopor or Šopor? Pardon.
That's okay.
Michal Šopor, because you don't have the hot Czech on your channel.
Yeah,
okay, Michal Šopor. I'm sure you're familiar with his videos, and I use them to learn Czech, which is...
For me?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, good for you.
I have some questions for you about life, about why you're here, what you're doing in LA. So you moved there how long ago?
8 years ago.
Did you think you would stay that long?
I didn't even know what I was thinking, to be honest. I went there, to see one girl I was texting with, and then I got kind of stuck there, and I was like trying to figure out what to do in my life and so on, and it took from there. So yeah, I didn't even know what to expect, I started to do my YouTube videos after almost 5 years of being there.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's not that I went there and then I started to like flex, like, look, I'm here, I'm gonna show that. No, I've been living there for like 5 years, and that's kind of a long time, because 5 years you kind of like, in 5 years you are either there or not.
Yeah.
It's way too long to be like, oh, I'm not failing. In
Right.
5 years, the big success is if you're still there. That's already success,
What did you start wanting to show people?
I want to show them the reality of the life in there. How is it like through my eyes? Because my whole idea wasn't to present myself or promote myself, because it's so arrogant in my eyes. Because to be in LA, which has the same amount of people like entire Czech Republic, and this amount of people is within one freaking city, and plus they are all different. It's not that they're old white Middle Europeans, they're from all over.
Yeah.
So you'll meet a lot of people. To show the idea and think like that I am there, the important one, and I'm gonna be flexing is freaking wrong. So then I want to show them what I see on the daily basis.
Because your videos are in Czech, you probably have mainly Czech and Slovak viewers, right?
Yeah.
I do know when I talked about you to my friends, I have a few friends who watch your channel because they have Czech and Slovak boyfriends.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And so they have a question for you. Why do you only show the bad parts of LA?
The thing is, like, I don't show only the bad parts, but for some reason they always have the most hits. I don't know if it's like, but that's the thing. Like, I have almost 600 videos. And 20 times I filmed some videos about like tens and bums and mess. 20 times. I have only like 20 to 25 videos. Let's say, okay, 30 at the most, out of 600.
And they're the ones who always come up in the algorithm.
Yes, because for some reason, people like drama, conflict and stuff. If I go and I show them, oh, this is beautiful beach, yeah, it will get like 30,000 views. But if I go and I will film them like how in San Francisco people are shooting at drugs in front of the cab station, yeah, it has 300,000 like in a month. So I don't know, but I always shows them like the full picture. So for example, living. We show them how is it to live in a fucking box. Then we show them how is it to live in Koreatown, which you can afford living, because they don't ask you for any papers, they don't ask you how much you make, they just want the payment on the first. That's it. Then we show them our apartments, how we live after years of being there. And then my friend is building mansion, so I went to the mansion with him and I showed them a mansion for like $7 million or something like that, Wow, yeah. So I'm always trying to show them a full picture of things. But since this is individual episode, people always sees just what they want to see.
Yes.
And they see the worst.
What do you think, my viewers are majority Czech, what do you think they would do if I filmed that guy over there? And then
the bum? Yeah, they would like it. Yeah.
You think they would like it?
They would like it because that's the reality of
You don't think they would say like, American showing us negative parts?
It's whatever you want to show. That's the beauty of YouTube. You show whatever you want, and I'm showing them the reality of YouTube, of YouTube, of LA. So the reality of LA is this. LA changed so much in last couple of years.
How?
In last to the bad, it goes to the shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, even on the streets that were clean a couple of years ago. Now they're dirty. So let's say, for example, your friends who may be even from there, but they were not there, let's say, in last 5 years, they would totally not recognize the place.
Yeah,
you know?
I understand
So that changed a lot.
So they're easier on crime.
Easier crime, exactly. They're enforcing less of this thing and more enforcing us because they can get the money from us, let's say parking kits and stuff like that, because the city is broke. So they are taking the money from you as a worker, as someone who is living normal life, and in reality they are not enforcing the other part, you know? And then you are paying a rent, $3,000 or something like that, and then you look outside at 3 a.m., they're having barbecue right under your window and making noise and stuff. Like, how would you like that? Sure. And that's, so, and this is a reality a lot of people. They don't even show it on the news, but since there's Instagram now and there's accounts that are really just focusing on that, you can see it. They don't enforce that, they don't report it because they don't want the crime statistically go high, so the terrorists still go there.
I read some of your comments and I worry that, like, I think Czechs like to take America down a notch. Like, they can see how great America is in any movie. We love talking about ourselves in movies. But so this is what this is why you appeal.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I'm always telling them, what I show them is not America. What I show them is LA.
Yeah, sure.
LA is not America, but it's a good sample. It's a good sample of what America is because you have people from all over there, and you will meet people from all over there, and they will tell you their stuff. So you kind of can tell you were, let's say, never in Oregon, but you know so much about Oregon because so many of your friends are from Oregon. And if you meet 10 of them and they're all the same, that's a pretty good sample that you kind of like say, like, there's something about that.
Yeah.
Because they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the thing. And I'm always trying to tell people that you know, that this is not America, this is LA, but I'm always telling them this was not here a couple of years ago.
So you're back in Prague, just visiting. Just visiting. What struck you the most when you came back to, whenever you do come back to Czech Republic?
I'm super sensitive on the Czech language.
Oh, how so?
I can hear it from like very distant and hear what people are saying because you don't hear it at all for like so long, sometimes years.
Not at all.
Not at all. It's not there. And also, like, you, let's say there's a school or like kids, the way how kids speak, like the Czech innocent language of them when they talk about, oh, give me bonbon. No, I won't give you one. And you're like, this is so fucking cool, like, you know, because that's not how adults talk, you know. And there's a girl and she comes to that little guy and she's like, give me that. And he's like, no. I'm like, man, in 20 years you will beg her to give you her phone number, and now you don't want to give her that thing. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, you know? So little things, like, people were asking me, like, what did you like the most when you came back? I'm like, I like the most that I went to Lahutky, get a pařížský salad and sit on the curb and eat it with rohlík. Like, you know, like no fancy restaurant, nothing like that. Like regular basic stuff, you know. But the language is like the first thing that jumps to my mind because once you come here, the language carries the jokes with it, the culture, and also like the expressions that are very hard to express in English.
Sure.
Because the way how you put the words together.
Do you find yourself being friends with like people from the United States or people who have come from other countries?
Very good question. Like, people from the United States, I only know one guy who's Indian, so like,
really?
But you know, like Indian heritage, like that he still have the Native American in him. But everybody else.
Oh, a Native American.
Yeah. So I know only one. So this is like really like one person from US who's really from US. The rest of the people are from like all over, but let's say they are a fourth generation of Irish or
like
something.
all of us,
So they are like, let's say they are Americans. Okay, let's say they are Americans. It's like 50-50, you know. Like, I know people who are from Mexico who are there 20 years, who jump over the fence. I know people who...
They actually jumped over the fence.
Or they... Yeah, I know a lot of crazy stories. I'm not able to say it on camera because I know a lot of them. It's great content. I know all those stuff. It's crazy. But also I know people who've been there, who are born there, and I know people who from different race, you know. I know people who are from there. Like, that's the thing about LA, you know, people from everywhere.
Do you think, I saw your video about the BlackLivesMatter protest. It's all very interesting to me. what's your opinion of all that?
When I saw it first and I didn't really know about it, I was like, yeah, all right. But more and more I know about it, I know it more and more it's one big bullshit.
How so?
Because it's like just a political power. Like it's a tool of political power to make a pressure some certain way, you know. And it's very like hypocritic to see, like, you know, of course, if one person kills the other person, it's bad, like no doubt about it at all. But on the other hand, like there's murders on everyday base within, let's say, the black community. There's murders on every day. There, you know, also within them, also towards black officers every day. So just to talk about one part is like completely crazy thing, you know. And you always have to show people a full picture. So now I highly doubt it that if this would not be the election year, that any of that would happen. How hypocritic it is when I talk to actually my friends who are black and they told me that they hate this shit.
Why?
Because that makes them like bad. They are like, we don't want this like to be responsible for that. There is like some protest, there's like riots and stuff like this, and it's like, I'm black, I have my own store, and they will come and fuck up my store.
So let me ask you, because there's Black Lives Matter protests and then there's looting. Mm-hmm. Do you see that they're the same?
I've seen them, you know, like I've been there when it was there, and I know that there's a lot of people who took the opportunity, and I also know that there's a lot of people who just went there to like demonstrate for equality and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But these people are like highly uneducated, because they are standing in front of the LAPD and they are yelling like that, fuck cops and everything. But there's like 5 white cops in LAPD. Everybody there is black or Hispanic. Mm-hmm. So why are you yelling at them, you know? So I seen the certain connection, but I also know that there was a lot of people who were like opportunistic, you know, who went there because there was a crowd, so they felt like, oh, they are fell in power, and because they're a bunch of losers, they finally have something to like do. Okay, let's fuck up these stores, because to be honest, they fuck up like Nike and shoe stores and jewelry stores.
No, I saw that.
They just purposely went to loot, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the movement by itself, it's just the idea of equality, fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. But the way, like, who is covering that? No, hell no. So I actually, year 2020 in US was for me like the best year, because I learned the most. I start to learn about like what is going on there. Yeah. Like who is behind this? Who is doing that? Who is paying this one? Who is paying that one? Like, why is this happening? You know, not just like waving there with a sign.
Do you think Americans are racist? Oh, that's a big question, but what do you think?
I think it's not Americans. I think like people are different from all over, and you always are raised different way, you know. And like I saw one video and that pissed me off a lot, because there was a girl, she was white, and there was next to her was a black boyfriend, and they were saying like they had like 10 fingers, and like take one finger down if you were arrested and it was not lawful arrest. So the guy took it off. And he took all his fingers based on the question they asked, and she didn't. And then I did the same. I was like, all right, I was arrested too, and it was a lawful arrest. Did I feel like I'm racially threatened? Yes, because they were both Hispanics. Did I had a further consequences based on the arrest? Yes, because now when I go through the border, they put me to secondary every time. And I went all this, and I end up with 2 fingers, and I'm white. So how valid is that? And I did nothing wrong, you know. So when it comes to like videos that I see like this, that are trying to like force people think like that this is how the reality is, that's really fucking sad. So I don't think Americans are racist at all. Funny enough is that I know so many people like from all over, that like my friend recently, she's Mexican, and she told me that the most hate she ever received was from Mexicans, because she's not dark enough. She's white, she's from Jalisco. Wow. So she's white. And she told me that they were beating her at school and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? They were all your people, you all speak Spanish. She's like, yeah, but I'm not white, I'm not dark enough. I'm like, come on, you know?
That happens in lots of communities.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's not about the picture, it's not black and white. And since I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends are from, like, most of my friends don't have first language Czech or English.
Oh, wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Spanish.
That's how crazy, exactly. Spanish or Portuguese. I know so many Brazilians.
Wow.
You know? So, or like Koreans or like stuff like that. So I know a lot of people from all over. And like you talk to them, and I'm spending a lot of time with them, and I talk to them, and that changed during this year and last year. It changed my entire view on politics.
Wow.
It's one big crap.
Do you have a lot of Vietnamese people in Ostrava?
Oh, in Czech, yes.
Here, obviously,
Yeah.
but-
I thought in LA. In
No.
LA, I don't know many. Yeah,
don't-
here,
and-
yes.
Because one person wants to know, what do you think of Vietnamese people in...
I love them. You know why? Here I love them. You know why? Because they're hardworking as fuck.
Yeah.
Their kids are like the prime of the class, always, based on my own experience. And I know a couple here. They do everything for their kids.
Yeah.
Even when the parents work on those like public markets, and even if they sell weed or something, I don't care. Their kids are raised right. You know? So I love them. Like I freaking love I like when people are not lazy, and when they come to different country and they accept the rules of the country, they accept the way how the society over there works. They're not trying to change it, and they're raising their next generation as the generation of the kids from that country.
Right.
You know?
Can you see a different minority group in the US that is similar? Like who's just doing what the Vietnamese do in Czechia?
I would say like Mexicans are pretty similar, even when they are carrying the same, like they're carrying their like holidays and everything like to there, and I get it, like it's fine. I think Mexicans are really hard workers. But the thing is like, and they will tell you that. If you ask them, they will tell you that. Like one of my like really close friend, he's like still joking about it because he has 60 cousins. And one of his cousins just died, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, no worry, bro, I have 50 more. I'm like, what the fuck? I went on Mexican like birthday party. I was there the only one white. My best friend is Miguel, and he's from Mexico. He's a freaking great guy. I freaking love him. And he tells me like, bro, I have a birthday, you have to come. I came there. His 50 cousins were there. They all drink Modelo, Corona, and guys sit separate, girls sit separate, and he had even his grandmothers, grandfathers, sister of his grandmother on his birthday party. He's 30.
Yeah.
How many of you who are watching this video will invite your grandmother to your 30 years old birthday party with a bunch of your buddies? It's really like weird, right? But it works. He has live band.
Yeah.
His cousin took shopping cart from Target, put a barbecue in it, did tortillas, the best, quesadillas, all that, great stuff. And I was there the only one white. And I come there and everybody look at me, who I am. And he came to me and was like, there's Michael, my best buddy, and he's a Czech superstar. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what? And they're like, hey, what up, Michael? And they were all fucking friendly. And I got experience of Mexican birthday party.
Yeah.
And you know what they did? They rent entire parking lot under the building.
No, I know. I've experienced those.
See?
Yeah.
So, and how random is that? And that moved me again forward because I learned so much about their culture. They were dancing.
Yeah.
There were guys that were like fat, like drinkers, drunk as fuck. And that guy stand up and went to the most beautiful girl on that thing. If she's gonna dance with him, she stand up and went to dance with him without any question. I fucking love it. I was like,
Because she felt like that's what you do if someone asks you to dance?
They are hardworking. They make money. They work with their hands. They fucking do work like crazy for the week. But on Friday, they all meet up together and they fucking drink like crazy.
Worse than Czechs.
Crazy. Crazy.
Czechs don't drink crazy, I don't think. I never
Well,
see
we
Czechs.
drink crazy, but it's different drinking. They like
I
drink.
see like sloppy fall down drunk Czechs.
Oh, yeah, I did. I did, but like Mexican, it's kind of unique. It's different level of drinking. They drink tequila. It's different. Never drink tequila with Mexican.
Oh,
You
little
know.
mezcal.
So yeah, never do that. It's not gonna end up well.
So I have a question. What do you think of women in Czech Republic versus
great.
American women?
I love women in Czech Republic. Yeah, I'm really in favor of those Czech girls.
Yeah.
The best thing on the planet. Like yes.
And what makes them different from American girls, or what's wrong with American girls?
Well, it's because I'm Czech, so I always will. Czech girl will always smell better for me than the American girl. And it's not a smell. Like, it's a smell like how you can relate to her. You know, the vibe, the
Okay.
chemistry. You know. So the thing is like, the way that I go to work, she goes to work, and the way that we go home, whatever. And I'm a guy, so I'm naturally fixing shit, right? Because I'm a guy. Like you know, if fucking something on the door's full of, I could put it back. Like if her tire is like slashed, I'm gonna change it.
Sure.
And like if she's at home and she's gonna cook me dinner, I'm okay. But she's not gonna sue me if I will tell her, okay, make me dinner after I did something to her.
Americans sue you? They get.
They will.
Do they get angry?
I don't know Americans, but girls in LA, they will take me to the brunch.
Ah.
Oh, let's
So
go
are
on
they,
brunch.
is it like more about money? Is that what the difference
I don't know
is?
what it is about, but like they are trying to make it that there's no responsibilities between men and women, and I'm like the more that classic, like still like back then guy.
There's the male domain.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
female
because
domain.
they are, you know, like they are like, why you don't have on Olympic Games in the final a guy and a girl competing next to each other? Because the guy is fucking stronger, can lift more. That's it.
That's true. I don't know if this analogy works for
That's what I'm.
Duties in the home. but-
Exactly, but the thing what I'm saying is that you have girls who are like working car fixing or something, but majority is guys doing that stuff, you know.
So do you like someday you probably want to get married? Do you have a girlfriend now?
No.
Okay, that was one of the questions.
Yeah,
for Rita.
mother of my kids is gonna be Czech.
Okay.
Or not Czech, but Slavic.
Okay.
You know, from here, I don't know if it's gonna be Ukrainian girl or a Slovak girl or Polish girl, but it's not gonna be a Brazilian girl.
Okay.
Do you think you'll come back here for this Czech woman and this Czech family?
Yeah, definitely.
And
Like
live
definitely. Like I can imagine myself in 10 years. It's not like, you know, now it's hard to predict. What do you want to do? Where are you gonna be? Like who knows? I'm not planning that, but I for sure know that I want to raise my kids the way how my parents raised me, because I know it didn't hurt me. Already I think like I'm not hurting anyone,
Yeah.
and I think like I'm doing something, and I'm not alcoholic or drug dealer or something like that. So I think like the way how they raised me, I like, and I talk them. I talk to them about it. I'm like, hey, I'm like really like glad you guys didn't like divorce when I was young, because that can fuck you up. I'm glad dad didn't beat my mom.
Yeah.
I'm glad my dad was not alcoholic. I'm glad that I had a full family. I'm glad I never was starving when I was young, you know?
Right.
If you will talk to all of my friends, majority of them, they had at least one of those things. Their father was never home. Their father was alcoholic.
Friends in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their father was alcoholic, or they
Yeah.
didn't grow up without that.
Yeah.
Or they were start selling drugs, or they start with some gangbanging stupid shit, you know, or stuff like that. So, and then I'm like, man, I'm from like normal family. That's freaking perk.
Yeah.
And I want the same thing.
Did your opinion change of your home country when you, after living in the U.S. for a while?
Yeah, I start to love it more and more.
Yeah.
I freaking love it here like crazy. Like, longer I'm out, more I love it. I like when I go to store and they don't bag your own stuff, and instead they will tell
God.
you, and they will tell you, Tashku, and I'm like, yes,
No,
yell at me all the
you
time.
have to move so fast in LA. They've got someone else doing it
Yes.
for you.
Yeah,
and it's this long
exactly.
process.
Yeah. So, and they talk to you about like what you're gonna cook, and oh, you should try. You should try this one. You should try. This is really good ice cream. I'm like, and here, beep 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 beep. Next, beep, beep,
Next,
beep,
and
you
then
know?
and then the
So,
groceries on.
Yeah, I love it more and more. Like, and
It's familiar.
you know, I kind of feel like people have to move out of their home to later realize the home is the best.
What is the one thing you miss so much about Czech Republic? It's food or something? Something that you-
Attitude.
The attitude. All right, it's good. What's something really good about LA?
Weather.
Yeah.
Weather.
What's your favorite beach?
Hermosa.
Oh, my husband was born there.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, how somebody can be born in Hermosa and somebody in North Korea? What an unfair world.
No.
How do people support you if they want to support you?
Oh, well, I have Patreon account where I post like additional content and stuff, and YouTube has a Czech version of YouTube. So people who are not familiar how to buy something, let's say online in English or something, they do it like through there. So I have
cool.
Patreon and
Okay.
YouTube členství.
Well, I think what you do is, I find it very valuable. I find it to be like good journalism. Even if it's negative, like you're not making it up. It's true. It's what it is, and so it gives me a different view of my own city. So thank you.
Yeah, you should go there very soon to see it on your own eyes, to see what the fuck's going on.
But I don't have to wear a mask here. It's very.
You don't have to you don't have to wear a mask there too. No worries about it.
Okay.
So thank you for chiming in, and hopefully you can see the video where he asked me some questions over on his channel.
Yes.
If you haven't already subscribed to Michal Šopor's channel. So anyway,
Check this out.
yeah, check it out. So uvidíme se příští týden. Ahoj.
Ahoj. Příští týden. It's funny.